chemicals, including PFAS like Gen X. These chemicals have been linked to serious health problems, cancers, reproductive issues, neurological problems, and more. And here in North Carolina, 3.5 million people currently drink tap water with PFAS levels above what the federal standards will be in just a few years. That's 1 in 3 people are drinking unhealthy water. And so those aren't just numbers. These are families, these are children, these are entire communities that deserve better. And we know that the most effective way and the fairest way to protect public health is to stop contamination at the source by setting limits on the discharges that can come into waterways. But we're not there yet. So in the interim, we need to make sure that we are providing resources to communities so that they can upgrade their infrastructure and remove PFAS and other harmful chemicals from their water supplies. So they need financial support. So today's announcement of $17 million to connect more homes that currently have well water that does have high levels of PFAS is a real step forward. And in addition to providing clean water to those homes, they also get fire service as well. As you know, obviously the pipes are there for the fire service as well. And I want to just mention that following neighborhoods for which at least a portion of those neighborhoods will receive these new water line connections: Allendale, Arlington, Bayshore, Brentwood, Burton, Newton, Kerr, Garden Place, Hanover Gardens, Orange Street, Rock Hill, and Wrightsboro Acres. Rock Hill, located in Castle Hayne, was one of the first neighborhoods funding was approved for, and we appreciate a group of good folks from that community here today for taking the time to be with us. Thank you all for being here. I don't know which ones of you are. If you want to raise your hands, stand up. Thank you so much for being here. And as the governor just mentioned, we also awarded recently almost $18 million for the wastewater plant. Important to mention the benefits that's going to provide. That project will completely modernize the plant, replacing aging equipment with a more advanced treatment system. It will increase capacity from 12 million to 16 million gallons per day, helping the community continue to grow. It will add stronger treatment and filtration, improving water quality and environmental protection downstream. It will improve storm resilience, moving critical equipment out of the floodplain and adding reliable backup power, and ensuring long-term reliability so this system can serve families and businesses for decades to come. So, $35 million total for drinking water and wastewater today. It's not just investments in pipes, it's investments in people. Infrastructure for drinking water and wastewater is the backbone for thriving, healthy communities, supports homes, schools, businesses, hospitals, and it enables growth while protecting our streams and natural areas. Today's award reflects our commitment to safeguarding public health, making infrastructure more resilient to increasingly severe weather, and ensuring that communities have the infrastructure they need to succeed. I want to thank leaders in Wilmington, New Hanover County, and CFPUA, and also the dedicated professionals from the Department of Environmental Quality who have all worked together on these projects over the years. We are making real progress together, and I look forward to making even more progress so that we can make sure people, when they turn on that tap, have safe, healthy water to drink. Thank you. And now we are open to questions from the press.
Any questions?
Wow.
Yes,
Here
sir.
we go.
Yeah, Governor, the Trump administration has been rolling back, restrictions and regulations on PFAS and how they're going to monitor them. Here in North Carolina, the EMC arguably has been doing the same. How would you respond to both what's happening in Washington and in Raleigh in regards to monitoring and trying to get these forever chemicals out of our water systems?
Well, putting your head in the sand does not make the problem go away. We all know that PFAS poses real risk to public health. The Secretary listed a number of the health conditions that have been associated with PFAS. What we need to do, what the federal and state government need to do, is to have a clean standard of what is an acceptable amount to have in our drinking water. And as the Secretary said, we have to reduce the amount of PFAS that's in our rivers, that's in our drinking wells, at the point where it's being put into the river. That's where the pollution originates. We need to tighten that up and make sure that we are not adding any new PFAS. But we can't pretend that it doesn't already exist. So ignoring a problem does not make it go away. It's imperative that both the federal government and the state government set a clear standard of what is acceptable.
So a lot of bigger companies have been linked to some of these PFAS in the Cape Fear River. So what can you guys do to ensure to hold these companies liable and make sure that this doesn't happen?
Well, before I was governor, I was the attorney general, and I took DuPont and Chemours, the two owners, it used to be DuPont, it's now Chemours, of the plant that manufactures PFAS outside of Fayetteville, the Fayetteville Works facility, and that litigation is still ongoing. I believe firmly that when a polluter creates damage that impacts the public and the natural, the rivers, that they should be the ones to pay for it, not the people. And so that's why I took them to court, and as I said, that litigation is ongoing.
There's been a lot of dredging recently around our region, just in general, for environmental benefits and things along those lines, but there's also been a lot of concern with dredging through the harbor of releasing more PFAS chemicals. So this dredging is not going to slow down, I don't feel. So what is a mitigation strategy? What is something you can put in the heads of people to keep in mind that these chemicals are underneath, and the more we dredge, the more we could potentially release?
That what you've just articulated, that there is PFAS sediment in the bottom of our river, is real. And that's why the Department of Environmental Quality, and I'll have the Secretary speak to this a little more in a moment, they communicated to the Army Corps of Engineers, which sought a permit to continue to dredge to deepen the river. They said, we cannot grant you this permit because you have not adequately addressed the question of what are you going to do to mitigate the risks to people's health by bringing all of this PFAS that's at the river bottom. Where are they going to put it on the beaches? So there are real legitimate concerns, and for that reason, the Department of Environmental Quality put a hold on it. Secretary?
Well, that's exactly right. There are a number of issues to look at for any proposed dredging project, and what was lacking in the Army Corps' documentation was information about how they would handle PFAS. Also, information about flooding was insufficient, because we have to have enough information to be able to make a decision whether that project is indeed consistent with state law. So when you don't have enough information, you can't make that judgment, and that's why we officially objected to that consistency determination from the Army.
Any other questions? Thank you all very much for being here today, and thank you for your advocacy for your communities, and grateful to all the local leaders who are stepping up to meet the needs of their residents. Thank you.
Governor, Mr. Secretary, thank you very much.
Thank you. Good to see you.